Hello, everybody. I think we're ready to get started. If you guys want to grab your snacks, your drink tables, and if I can ask the presenters to come up front, that would be wonderful. For the presenters to come up, that would be great. Okay. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I wanted to just kick off this meeting by welcoming everyone that's here in person. Thank you. And all the folks that have joined virtually. Thank you for your time. Our agency, Community Action Partnership of Kern, is collaborating with a whole host of individuals. They'll have a chance to introduce themselves in just a second on an opportunity to expand workforce development opportunities in Kern County. So we have a presentation for you. They are in English and in Spanish. And any questions that you may have, we'll take them at any time. This is a fairly informal presentation and it's supposed to be collaborative. So raise your hand and ask any questions. The format will be, we'll have a few slides dedicated to just talking about what exactly we're meeting on today. And we're not holding anyone captive. So you can leave at any time, but it's going to be good. So we have a mix between English and Spanish slides. And the intent is to then break out in groups and talk about what workforce development means to you. So we do have a series of questions that each of our facilitators will be asking you. And it's informational gathering. So we just want to hear from you on how it's going, what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and what you're seeing in your community, and more importantly, what you would like to see here. With that, I would like to present all of our presenters. JP, I'll start with you.
Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is JP Lake. I am proud to be part of this coalition. I represent B3K. Many of you have been following our work and connected and engaged with us through that. So I'll be helping do the presentation and facilitate this evening. Thanks for being here.
Welcome. My name is Imelda Ceja Beckwitz. I am the president of the Central Labor Council for the Kern, Inyo, and Mono counties. And I'm very proud to be part of this team. We have a lot of work ahead of us, and with your help, we will accomplish lots of things and we'll bring good jobs, good paying jobs, local jobs here to Kern County. Salinas, and I am the trustee with the Central Labor Council. And for those that speak Spanish, buenas noches, mi nombre es Tania Salinas y estoy aquí representando al Consejo Labor de Sindicatos.
Hi, good evening. Buenas noches. My name is Norma Rojas Mora. I am the Executive Director of Government Relations, Partnerships and Development for the Kern Community College District. Buenas noches y vamos a iniciar la presentación.
Excellent. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and start the presentation. And those folks that are joining us virtually, we have Christopher and Earl monitoring questions. So feel free to ask questions. And that's also open to this group as well. So we will kick it off with JP.
Thank you. Thank you for your patience. So what is the purpose of CERF grant values equity in all communities, and it really is about bringing communities together. That is going to be vital as we co-plan on how to bring high quality jobs to this region. Planning phase of the grant. What that means is right now we're coming together, we're getting ideas from different communities. Planning grant that will give us 24 months to identify community projects to move into the implementation phase. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to explain what the planning phase of CERF is. Then we're going to spend time having conversations with you because we really do value your feedback. And we want you to be part of this vision of implementing a shared all of Kern County.
Ahora en español, la asociación CERF valora equidad para las comunidades y quieren ayudar a traer trabajos que pagan bien al condado de Kern. En el momento actual están en el proceso de colectando información y comentarios de la comunidad. Hoy van a explicar el proceso que están con la asociación y después van a tomar tiempo sus comentarios y respuestas.
So again, we're going to start with some CERF updates on this planning grant. So our planning grant is due on July 25th. Yes, you heard right, July 25th. So we have a few weeks to do a lot of engagement. CERF is part of SB 162, which is a Senate bill that authorizes up to $5 million for a planning grant here in Kern County. The planning grants include a fiscal agent, a regional convener, coordinators who will all be working on the following. We will be working on producing a robust regional economic development plan. We'll create an inclusive planning table for this. We'll be strengthening collaboration, including evidence strategies, and we want to ensure that there is the participation of a diverse group of stakeholders throughout Kern County.
Las actualizaciones del CERF, la planificación de la excepción. El día de entregar la excepción es julio 25. SB 162 autoriza hasta 5 millones para la planificación. Las excepciones de planificación incluyen a el organizador regional y coordinadores trabajando en lo que sigue. Un plan de desarrollo económico regional, crear un cuadro de planificación que sea inclusivo, incluyendo estrategias basadas de prueba, asegurando que hay participación. Octubre.
So what happens after we apply for the planning grant? Well, upon notification of receiving the planning grant, Transition Collaborative, which will be all of us, will develop a transition plan that addresses the essential elements of a high road strategy. The sub-regional and inter-regional plan will be co-developed again with a diverse group of stakeholders, from visioning to analysis to strategy, so that we can create a roadmap. Partnership agreement letter is designed to support this process.
Después del plan, sigue la actualizaciones de CERF, fase de planificación. La cooperación de transición por carretera alta de Kern desarrollará un plan regional de recuperación económica y transición que aborde los elementos esenciales. Para explicar qué es la estrategia de alta carrera, es un conjunto de estrategias de desarrollo de la mano de obra para lograr la prosperidad compartida y un medio ambiente limpio. Regionales trabajarán juntos con grupos diversos para crear estrategias para esta sucesión. La carta de convenio colectivo está diseñada para apoyar este proceso. Y para explicar qué es la carta de convenio colectivo, es un acuerdo informal entre la cooperativa de partes interesadas.
Please, in a few moments, at the end of this presentation, we just have a few more slides. We're going to be having you have a discussion at your tables. And we're not going to go through these questions now, but you can see them here, and there's also sheets at your table. We will be spreading out and helping listen and record your answers to those questions, and they'll be compiled and reported back to the community in the coming days as we do similar meetings all around the county.
Las preguntas de discusión van a ser en cada mesa y entonces vamos a preguntar las preguntas y solo dan sus respuestas acerca de su interés en común.
That was much shorter in Spanish. So if you do think of something after this evening and you want to reach out to us, please know that we are available at a website, and on page 10 here and on the slide, you can see in the yellow box at the bottom right, we do have a website that is kccd.edu/CERF. You can also email us at kernsurf@kccd.edu. And again, those communications are shared with all of the co-conveners, the organizations that have come together to form the current coalition. And we are committed to be unified in this effort and listen to your feedback as we apply for these state community investment dollars.
Información de dónde nos pueden encontrar, son 4 organizaciones que se han unido para traer millones de dólares para invertir en nuestra comunidad, para que haya trabajos de alta calidad y que sean accesibles para todos. La coalición Kern consiste de 4 de Kern Community College District, de B3K Prosperity, Kern Inyo Mano Central Labor Council y Community Action Partnership of Kern. La coalición Kern servirá con cobertes y Kern CCD servirá como agente fiscal para la aplicación de Communities Economic Resilience Fund, que quiere decir es el CERF, una nueva iniciativa de desarrollo económico y de fuerza laboral de 600 millones en todo el estado. El Senate Bill 162 para que haya trabajos de alta calidad después de la pandemia. Ahora, si oír sus comentarios, se puede encontrar en el correo electrónico que es el KCCD.edu.
In addition to reaching out to us online or through email, we will have additional community meetings like this one that we're having tonight. You're welcome to attend any of these meetings across the county over the next couple of weeks, as well as we will be offering weekly updates virtually through Zoom online every Tuesday at 12 p.m. You can register for those weekly Zoom meetings at the link that is available that went out this evening. Secondly, we will have community meetings like this one tonight, across Kern County, hybrid format at 5:30 p.m. And the next meeting is actually Monday out in Taft, Monday, July 11th. It's at the Taft College Student Center, which is at 29 Cougar Drive, Taft, California. It'll be same format and content as you're seeing this evening. But again, you're welcome to attend any of these meetings that we're having. And in a moment, we'll bring that's the next steps.
Y las próximas juntas de participación de la comunidad que quieren escuchar de ustedes es cada martes a las 12 de la tarde habrá actualizaciones sobre CERF virtualmente. La segunda parte habrá juntas con participación comunitaria que se lleva a cabo en diferentes partes del condado de Kern, zona y virtual a las 5:30 de la tarde. Y la tercera fase es registrarse hoy para atender la junta en Taft College el julio 11. El Student Center, que está a la calle en el 29 Cougar Drive.
So if you can believe it, record time, we are done with our formal presentation. And so what that means is that we're ready for the next steps. And that's going to be where we work with you all at each of your tables to talk about the various questions. There's roughly 6. And again, just to elicit some sort of response around what you'd like to see in your community. And Karen actually brought up a really good question earlier today saying, well, what do you mean by community? Well, it could literally mean service area, but it also could be how you buy. With you as a Latina or you as somebody who's representing a certain group. Community is really open. We just want to hear from you in terms of what you'd like to see in the service area and maybe what's missing. And again, with the intent around workforce development, right? So for the folks that are online, hello again. Earl and Christopher will be managing your breakout session in just a second. And we'll go ahead and conclude the formal presentation and start with the breakout groups.
Hello, everybody. This is Earl Parsons here. I'm sharing the screen with the questions in chat, and I've also left them in the chat. Please just use the chat window if you have any questions for anyone. And thank you for coming today. Hey everyone, it's Earl Parsons again. Yeah, the groups that are here at the Friendship House are kind of engaging in discussion about the topics that we had. I've posted those in English and Spanish in the chat, and they're being shared here. If you have any thoughts about CERF at all, about what we've talked about today, what it would take to make a resilient community in Kern. And so we have a comment here about business entrepreneurship, agriculture, manufacturing. So yeah, just keep going in the comments if you have any thoughts about the Community Economic Resilience Fund or the organizations that are really looking to develop this plan for Kern. I think it's very ambitious and life-changing possibility in what we're working at today. Yeah, we have Elizabeth Martinez. She says, I would say business, entrepreneurship, agriculture, technology. Jesus says, a good job is a job where your spouse has the option of staying home without sacrificing where you can live, send your kids to school and be considered middle class, looking into distribution centers, business manufacturing. Yeah, so yeah, we define a good job as supporting a living wage for a family that allows upward mobility. So yeah, you're right in line with that definition, Jesus. Yeah, I think business and manufacturing are definitely areas where we're going to start to look into. I'm going to go back to this first comment here. I believe it was, just about advanced manufacturing. Yeah, Jeremy says he'd like to see some more advanced manufacturing business. I work with the Kern Community College District. We have a bachelor's degree in industrial automation, which is a really awesome program. You could get a bachelor's degree at BC at community college cost and make $70,000 a year before you even graduate. So yeah, it's something we really try to push people on. We have Saul Ayon. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, butchering that. He's a resident from McFarland. He says he'd like to see more high-paying jobs, retail businesses, and individuals always need experiences. But how do they attain that through an intern? Through an intern, right? Yeah. So yeah, like part of CERF is really about job training, and identifying people from what they're calling disinvested communities, putting them into a position through the community colleges where they can learn a skill and then transition into a career. So yeah, they're pretty good. I'm talking with the people here. So that was great. That was great, Saul. Thank you. I can't see who GG is, but they said we need a real collaboration between labor unions and business to develop a greatly skilled workforce. Yeah, I can't agree more. That's why the Central Labor Council is one of the core organizations that are supporting this work. And we definitely need to bolster the trades, especially when you start talking about renewable energy and developing the infrastructure for that. A lot of that is going to come from the skilled trades, from electricians and people who are certified for that. So we have Raina here. She says, I would like to see training programs to ensure residents from Kern have a pipeline to access good paying jobs that are environmentally friendly. That's the end goal of the day. That's what High Road Training Partnerships and the High Road Transition Collaborative that we're going to be creating through these efforts is all about. So thank you, Raina. Thanks for coming, Saul. Thank you. If you have any contact information, please contact us at KernCERF, KERNCERF @kccd.edu. Oh, that my man Chris is right here next to me in the chat. He's taking care of that. Thank you. All right, I've gone through everything here. If you have any comments about the Community Economic Resilience Fund or anything, please submit them here. You guys have been doing. Can you also, okay. Oh yeah, so let's see, how did you learn about this event? Is what people are requesting. That would be interesting to know. Did you find out about it through our flyer, or were you connected with an organization that was going to be participating today? So yeah, any information about you could put in the chat about where that about how you found out about this would be helpful, along with any comments you have about CERF. CERF really is about listening and actively listening and being responsive to what the community's needs are. Yeah, so yeah, Saul, if please email us kernsurf@kccd.edu. I believe that's still Saul. Yeah, that is. Okay. Yeah, we'd love to collaborate with you. No problem. I think we're going to be in Taft on the 11th. I'm going to go to that slide here. We're going to be in Taft on the 11th, and we have these regular our regular online meetings are Tuesday at noon. So every Tuesday at noon. So feel free to come back in and Zoom. If you have any more questions, thoughts, you want to talk about it, that'd be great. I'll go back to the questions again. I have them in Spanish here if anyone needs them as well, but. Yeah, so here are the questions. You know, what does a good job mean to you? The job sectors, you guys answered agriculture or manufacturing. What types of businesses and organizations would you like to see in your community? What barriers are there? That'd be a really interesting question. What barriers do you see there to for people in this community being able to find a job? I feel like that would be a good thing to find out. And what can we offer as a community that would be beneficial to job creation? What other activities do you recommend to increase participation from your community? Yeah, the small groups here in the Friendship House are still going, but if you just have any responses for us, just let us know. Yeah, anything about CERF, any questions that I'm not able to answer, you can definitely have answered at that email address, which is kernsurf@kccd.edu. I'm going to go back to the email that has that, our website, kccd.edu/surf. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to go back to the question. Nope. Too far. There we go. So yeah, I'm really interested to know what your thoughts are about barriers to employment, into good employment, good jobs, because it's not just about any old job. It's about jobs that can sustain families and create generational wealth. So yeah, what are some of the barriers in our community? Like access to education, the core sectors, the lack of entrepreneurship. I'm just not in the opportunities. I'm just listing things kind of off the top of my head that I can see. But if anyone has any thoughts, that'd be helpful. We've got Jesus here. He says, bring jobs and opportunities to the residents. Historically, people have relocated to towns and homes near their work. We have established towns and cities now that we need to bring jobs to. Make industrial parks a part of rural cities and towns, and make websites more user-friendly. Keep it simple, silly. Websites that allow you to upload your resume and personal information in order to apply within minutes. Yeah, that's all helpful stuff, I think. I think we need a brain drain. Is a huge problem in Kern County. We lose some of our most talented people because they go away to UC Berkeley or UCLA and they don't want to come back. So what can we do to train and recruit and maintain people here, especially in the world of healthcare, because people are sending doctors from out of town and having to pay them twice the wage of a homegrown doctor to keep them here to make up for the shortages that we have in our healthcare workforce. So how do we take care of that? Eusidra Osby, I apologize if I got your name wrong. Justice involved are given little opportunities with lower wages and more labor intensive work. I think that's definitely a problem too. Yeah, that when there isn't a lot of opportunities for the formerly incarcerated or individuals coming out of the justice system to find that upward mobility. It's you can't even rent property a lot of times or rent a house, you know. So yeah, what can we do to remove some of those barriers? I think those are hugely important. We've got Raina here in the chat. I think she's going to be helping us out with some Spanish people, the sending responses in Spanish. So Raina, are you there?
Hi, Earl. Yes, I'm here. Hey, everyone.
Okay.
My name is Reina Olagues, and I'm with Building Healthy Communities Kern. Mi nombre es Reina y estoy con Construyendo Comunidades Saludables, y estamos platicando y discutiendo sobre qué es lo que contiene un buen trabajo, y los estamos invitando a que nos pongan en el chat qué es lo que ustedes piensan que o quieren en un buen trabajo, y qué sectores de trabajo crees que ofrecen más oportunidades. Y aquí hay unos ejemplos, por ejemplo, como la atención sanitaria, energía, agricultura, tecnología, centros de distribución y negocios, emprendimiento o fabricación avanzada. Entonces los estamos invitando, ¿qué es lo que les gustaría ver? ¿Qué es lo que no tenemos para incorporar todo lo que ustedes piensan en esta junta de planeación?
So we're getting some more comments in. We can round robin with this, Reina, where I'll say them in English and you can say the responses in Spanish. Does that sound good?
That sounds good, Earl.
Sounds great. Okay, so we have Jesus here. He says, incentivize employers to employ locals and pay locals more, since it's more than a job for the locals. It's a lifestyle, good paying job lifestyle.
Aquí tenemos a Jesús Pérez y nos está poniendo en el chat que es incentivizar a a las personas para que compren localmente, ¿verdad? Para que compren en negocios locales y comprar también el gas local. Y así podemos ayudar a los restaurantes y a los negocios locales para que también puedan contratar a más gente localmente.
We have a comment from Manpreet next. They say, I'd like to see a local food system that connects small family farms to local restaurants that promote sustainability on all ends.
Beautiful. Manpreet Kaur nos puso en el chat que a ella le gustaría ver un sistema de comida donde están conectados los negocios de agricultura, ¿verdad? Pequeños a los restaurantes para que la comida no se eche a perder y la puedan usar, por ejemplo, los restaurantes cuando las papas no están súper redondas y bonitas, las pueden llevar a los restaurantes locales.
We have another follow-up comment from Jesus talking about just the importance of a homegrown economy. He says, local shop local, buy gas local, and spend money local, you know, movies, restaurants, etc.
I shared that already, Earl.
Oh, I guess I missed that one. We say, and then Yusidra follows up with her comment about justice-involved individuals, saying partnering with community-based organizations who have relationships with that population. I think it would be helpful. Could you list some organizations that work with, that you know of, that work with justice-involved individuals? I think that might be a helpful resource for some folks.
Yusidra nos comparte que debemos de asociarnos con organizaciones comunitarias que tienen relaciones con personas que están saliendo de la cárcel o de prisión para que esas personas también tengan oportunidades de conseguir buenos trabajos.
Yeah. Like you said, Arena, on the job training for the local community and community interventions for individuals that are at risk. So.
Y dar entrenamientos que estén disponibles para las personas que están saliendo de la cárcel, ¿verdad? Para que ellos también tengan oportunidades de tener un buen trabajo.
We have a comment from Sandy Redding. I apologize if I ruined your name. She says, I am a hospital RN and we need more healthcare workers. We need to expand public education for community college nursing programs at state universities. We need to expand opportunities for people of color so that our healthcare workers reflect the community we live in. We also need to retain qualified workers. We also could not get nursing assistants because McDonald's paid more and the risk of contracting COVID was less than in the hospital.
Y nos comparte Sandy Redding que necesitamos más trabajadores que trabajen en el sector médico y necesitamos expandir la educación pública y también los programas que hay en el colegio comunitario para convertirse en una enfermera. Necesitan ser más expandidos para poder tener más personas médicas y enfermeras en los hospitales y en las clínicas que tenemos. Necesitamos expandir oportunidades para las personas de color, para que las personas que son enfermeras y trabajen en los centros médicos puedan verse como la gente como los clientes, por ejemplo, que haya personas de color, latinas, negras y de todos colores.
So yeah, to follow up on the healthcare comment, we have at the Kern Community College District, we have a healthcare pathways workforce development coalition where we're partnered up with, it's our nursing department with CSUB's nursing department, Adventist, Dignity, and we're thinking through how to expand clinical placements and recruit people from rural communities into these healthcare jobs. And then Yusidra followed up again, remove job readiness and put people straight to work.
Y Yusidra nos está compartiendo que hay que poner personas directamente a trabajar en vez de ponerlas en programas donde están preparándose para un trabajo. La gente necesita los trabajos ya. y está compartiendo también que Community Interventions es la organización donde Yusidra es la directora ejecutiva. Es una organización que puede ayudar a conectar a este programa con las personas que están involucradas que están saliendo de la cárcel, por ejemplo.
Yeah, Sandy following up again, she says, strong union contracts provide a good living and set the standards in the community.
Y Sandy nos está compartiendo que debemos también tener contratos con uniones fuertes, que sean fuertes para poder tener buenos trabajos y traer dinero a la casa. Earl, can you share how many people are in the here virtually and approximately how many people are in the room, just so that we know?
In Zoom, in the virtual space. And then we have about 20, 25 people here at the Friendship House.
Oh, beautiful. And I missed how many people virtually?
12.
Okay, wonderful.
We maxed out at about 13. And then Jesus, he says we need to fix existing infrastructure, especially in Arvin, McFarland, Lost Hills, Buttonwillow.
Y Jesús nos está compartiendo que hay que que necesitamos conexiones de internet y que sean fuertes en los lugares rurales como en Arvin, en Lamont, y sí, internet que sea de fiber optic. Muy buena.
Thank you for your comments, everyone. Pritika is coming back on, so thank you.
Hi, everybody. I didn't want to interrupt too much, but we are coming to the end of our meeting. And so it looks like you all have been having some really genuine conversations, and that's what we'd like to hear. So I think I'd like to take a moment and have you all maybe select somebody from the table to spokesperson about some of the themes that you all are seeing or areas of concern. It's completely up to you what you'd like to share. I'm coming out. Be picking. Clarice. Gladys.
Hi, everyone. Gladys Flores with Unidad Popular Benito Juárez. We were here discussing about what job sectors and everything. And one of the stuff that we were coming up is that we needed more interpretation services. And us as indigenous, we always have the barrier language. So one of the stuff that agriculture would say that we use more machinery. Are training them. I do understand that all the training and certifications are in English, but if we give the training in their native language, you know, Spanish or Mixteco, Zapoteco in another language, you know, for them to keep on escalating into for better wages, better salary, better working condition, you know, and that we were talking about. What was it? I got so nervous.
No, you're doing wonderful.
What makes a good job? We were talking about, you know, for employers to have them and give them since day one, health insurance. That's one of the stuff, you know, unfortunately, a lot of our, even if we have our kids send with babysitters, and even if they pay for babysitters, you know, it's unfortunate that babysitters are raising our kids. Us as parents, we have to continue working, we have to work long hours to make living conditions. Nowadays, with the gas, with the food, everything, now we're getting more calls of people, you know, that they want at least, you know, at least a card for food, vouchers, anything, you know, because everything is so expensive. So that's one of the stuff that I do, right now there's a COVID sick day, but you have to be employed by the same employer within 90 days in order for them to give you those sick days of COVID. So unfortunately, when you're a seasonal worker, by 2 weeks, you're done, your season, 3 weeks, you're done. It's very hard for you to get those 90 days. So we didn't finish all of our discussions, all of our points, but that's one of the stuff that we were talking about. Did I miss something else? Oh, one of the stuff that we did brought, it's that it's unfortunate when our communities are seeing nowadays, even for housing assistance, when they come out and they want to get services that it's available, but they still have that fear into what if, this is gonna end up being for them not to be able to apply for a path to citizenship or a path for them to legalize in some period. And this is hurting really bad our community. So, that's one of the stuff that we did mention, that we need to take away that stigma that those things for the low income community, especially with the indigenous community, because we have that barrier of Spanish is not a first language, we have another different language and then comes Spanish. English, that's a whole different other story. But those were the things that we were talking. Thank you. Move it around the room.
My name is Elizabeth Cemento. I am the executive director of the Art Council of Kern. So I know some of you here, and in every phase that overall plan, some of you may or may not know, don't actually have on a municipal level an arts and culture department. That means we don't have anybody in the arts field making decisions about funding priorities, strategies, a lot of the kind of things that we would expect, from our healthcare sector or housing sector or economic development sector. So high on our list is just representation, not just on a state level or on a county level, but also on the city level. And then the other big barrier that we see to providing really meaningful arts jobs and making sure that the arts brought to the forefront with this larger plan has a lot to do with access. So we know you can go see really amazing exhibitions at the museum, and you can artists are starting out very young, maybe in a coffee shop, but we don't really have a for the middle of the sandwich is what I'm calling it. So there isn't really a community art space that isn't a hallway or a hotel lobby, but an actual gallery space. I'm thinking a lot about the Kern Dance Alliance, who hasn't been paid a salary in the past 7 years. That should probably change. They're a dance company that organizes performances for people not only in Bakersfield but throughout Kern County, and they don't even have access to dance studios or dance spaces. So one major path that I see that could be relative, right? Is just creating space for artists and preserving that space for artists in Bakersfield or somewhere in the county. So what that looks like could be a community center like this, but instead of a basketball court, maybe there's dance studios and artist studios and potential spaces for creative incubators or creative entrepreneurial businesses, or even, the office or headquarters for a place like the Arts Council of Kern, where a lot of these kind of creative ideas come to the forefront by virtue of people just being in the same space. Other things that we had talked about were related to sort of the elder folks in our community. So what access do they have to high quality, more than minimum wage paying jobs? How do we, in the face of repeated economic crisis, and the one that we're currently experiencing, create pathways to savings that allow for folks to retire at ages that allow them to enjoy their later years. So yeah. All right, that's it for today. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Krista Carter. I am with PH International, I'm the Business Operations Manager there. Similar to everyone else's, but one thing that we noticed was the communication and the dissemination of the effective communication, and where it's thorough and that it's timely, and there was barriers between access to information to organizations who would benefit with this information of like grants or opportunities or services that could, or even partnerships that those communities or community-based organizations could benefit from, but also the challenges that we had also with getting the information to constituents, or that lack of that trickle down effect usually gets lighter and lighter and lighter by the time it actually gets to people who actually need the service. So being able to making sure that there's like a pipeline that information is consistent, it's fluid, it's timely and effective. And we all know that in building this communication pipeline, we need consistency, and with consistency builds trust. And so being able to get people who actually need those services to trust the community members or trust other partners to be able to come, or even some politicians. I'm just kidding. The city, I know. But yeah, being able to trust our community or city and say, hey, you know, we are here for you, and have them be able to really rely on the ones that who can make decisions or can provide services or organizations. So being able to build that trust is a huge factor. So, and as well as not just participants, but organizations as well, because we rely as an organization, most of them are from some organization. As we have access and we can build trust, we can provide more services. So.
I am Karen Buston. I am going to speak to question 6 because I really believe that we got some really good feedback. So activities that we recommended to increase participation in the community would be food. That's definitely always a plus. We definitely want to have outreach events and have them in different locations. We definitely see that the events would be time accessible to a lot of people, because there's definitely jobs that stay out a little bit late. So we want to make sure it's a good time. We also have language, making sure that it is translated in different languages that fit the community. We also wanted to include childcare for these events, because that is definitely when it comes to people attending community events, because they might not be able to leave their child at home by themselves. I want to also mention street teams, so having that outreach. And we also want to make sure that the messages that are being sent out are simplified to where everybody can understand what is going on. But we also want to make it engaging. So we want to make sure that it is engaging in the way that people want to come over to the event, and just making sure that it is simplified at the same time.
Finally, our last table. Who's our spokesperson? What do you think?
I just opened up my own boxing gym, Elevated Fitness Boxing, right down the street off of Smith and Cannon. So basically, our group talked about everything. We filled up the paper. I would want to say we talked about barriers. That's where we filled up most of our. What barriers have we observed people report jobs? So Language is one of them. Being overqualified, nepotism, we talked about that. Immigration policies is one of the things that we see as a barrier as well in the community. Just a lack of motivation in general, how we can get excited about things that's going on in our community. We also talked about what business organizations would like to see in our community. We went over about minimum wage jobs, skilled jobs, jobs that will last. People need to be employed, not just work minimum wage. That is good. Also need a trade skill where they can advance and live better. We all know about gas and all that good stuff. So, more manufacturing jobs. There's a lot of land on this side of town. There's a lot of undeveloped wage jobs too. Wage job for the young guys, to get that opportunity at least. So, we need like that basic skills, mathematics. We also talk about economics as well, and bringing economics back into the youth, because graduating high school with just economics and government in one semester, 20 years, they ain't did nothing for none of us, So, about it. Thank you.
Well, these are all wonderful updates, and just know that we are recording your responses in an effort to consolidate your concerns. Before we transition some of these, an opportunity and get some of the questions that were answered and online, or asked rather online, captured here. So Earl or Christopher?
I'll go.
Okay.
There, and I'm going to go ahead and sign in, and then the Zoom can just see me. I have my webcam here. So, but we talked a lot about keeping the homegrown economy. So let me pull it. Here we go. Nope. So yeah, we talked about homegrown jobs. We talked about the really importance of expanding healthcare opportunities. There was a big discussion about the importance of keeping the economy homegrown and removing brain drain, people getting jobs outside of the area and losing talent. That was kind of the focus of our piece.
Sorry. Yes, Christopher, please.
Mr. Jesus Bettis is concerned about the existing infrastructure as it relates to wireless internet connection. The question begs, how can you begin to address equity? How do you get, especially in a lot of our rural communities, which are plentiful here in Kern County, in order to upload a resume, in order to view opportunities on job postings, wireless internet connection is certainly something that needs to be addressed. Thank you, Mr. Jesus Bettis, for that concern.
Oh, when we talked about justice involved individual people who are in the justice system and what kind of opportunities we can create for them when they're back in society.
I think tonight we heard about a lot of it's especially targeted subgroups that some energy needs to be put towards. So I want to just end with, please know that all of this is being captured and to be used towards the application. But more importantly, this is not the last time that you're going to hear this. I know that sometimes when you have community meetings, you just never know how it ended up. You guys could make sure you have signed in with your phone number or email address. And that's a way where we're trying to keep you guys all updated about the work that we're doing. Priority number one is simply applying for the grant application on 7/25. But we anticipate that the coalition will receive that grant. And there's a lot of years of work to do behind that. So this is just phase one of many phases, and having your input and just encouraging us to move forward is really helpful. And you probably don't know it, but just even showing up to a community meeting when you don't have to in the evening time is really important, whether it's in person or virtual. So just simply wanted to say thank you on behalf of the current coalition for your time, and we will keep you updated. And that is the end. Thank you for your time.
Thank you all for coming. We're going now. Thank you, Jesus. You all have a good day. Bye.